Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Rafe and Jada walked away from the DiMera mansion, contemplating what Stefan had told them about Kristen. He doesn't know where his own sister is? Jada scoffs with disbelief, prompting Rafe to shrug. His own sister had him brainwashed to smooth out her love life, so, my guess is, if he knew where she was, he would draw us a map and Chloe would drive us there, Rafe said, and Jada agreed after some consideration. Jada wondered if Rafe knew of any other places Kristen could hide. Is this the part where I should think like Kristen DiMera? I would rather die. Rafe sputtered. Kristen, who was still with Rachel at the park, stressed that they didn't have much time to decide if they'd leave Salem together that day. Why can't Daddy come with us? Rachel wondered. Your papa and I require a brief break. So, you'll have to decide who you want to be with, Kristen replied. But we'll come back? Rachel assumed. And Daddy's okay with it? Rachel continued. And then you two will stop fighting and be happy? Rachel continued. Promise? Rachel came to a conclusion. Of course, Kristen said after each question. Okay, I'll go, Rachel said after receiving a pinky swear from Kristen. Kristen began to dash out of the park with Rachel, but they ran into EJ along the way. I must say, I'm rather taken aback to see the two of you together, EJ commented. You're taken aback when a mom brings her child to the park? Kristen teased. Not a mom, you, EJ stressed before asking Rachel for some privacy with Kristen. Whatever, Rachel murmured as she walked over to the nearby playground. EJ gave Kristen a shake of the head, assuming Brady was unaware that Rachel's deranged mother was alone with the child at the time. She's my daughter, and I have every right to see her. Kristen argued. Not legally, EJ stated. Rachel returned just then and reminded Kristen that they were in a rush. Mommy and me are skipping town because Mommy and Daddy need a timeout, Rachel said EJ, ignoring Kristen's attempt to halt the conversation. Kristen trembled as EJ begged Rachel for much additional information. We're going on an adventure, Rachel told EJ, unaware of Kristen's distress. Or on the lam, EJ murmured, perplexing Rachel and irritating Kristen. Kristen asked Rachel for more time alone with EJ. Whatever, Rachel complained again as she returned to the playground. I'm taking my daughter on a trip, Kristen explained. The hell you are, EJ responded before attempting to inform Brady. Rachel returned again while Kristen was attempting to steal EJ's phone. Are you two playing keep away? Rachel wondered. I thought I told you to go play, Kristen exclaimed. I'm tired of it, I want to go. Rachel disagreed, adding that it would be wonderful to say farewell to Brady along the way. That's why I was just calling him, EJ attempted to respond. But I was telling your uncle EJ not to. Daddy is very busy because Grandma's sick, commented Kristen. And whose fault is that? EJ murmured, which confused Rachel and irritated Kristen. Kristen promised Rachel, we're going to call Daddy from the road, before saying goodbye to EJ and rushing out again. EJ held Kristen and whispered that kidnapping Rachel was not an option. Like you didn't do the same with Sammy when the mood struck, Kristen retorted. I saw what it did to my kids. I'm not gonna let you do that to Rachel, EJ countered. You call Brady, and I will tell Stefan that you stood by and watched Lee put him through, let's just say aversion therapy. Kristen cautioned before asking whether Stefan would use Stefano's or Vivian's techniques to get revenge on EJ. If your conscience won't stop you, neither will I, EJ retreated before embracing Rachel's embrace. We won't be gone forever. Rachel became anxious after discovering EJ was upset. EJ forced a grin at Rachel before giving Kristen a skeptical look. Wish me luck? Kristen requested while rushing out with Rachel, but EJ simply moaned. Still with John and Brady in the hospital chapel, Allie squeaked out the phrase code blue between sobs. John dashed straight to Marlena's chamber with a shriek of grief, while Brady remained behind to console Allie. Eric watched in horror as Sarah rushed to stabilize Marlena with the help of another doctor and a nurse. She has fluid in her lungs. Let's sit her up for a thoracentesis, Sarah said, before instructing Eric to leave Marlena's room. Eric trudged off in search of Will, who had departed earlier to inform Allie of the situation, but he bumped across Belle first. "It's not good," Eric acknowledged. "I knew I shouldn't have stayed in Johannesburg this long." Belle worried. John dashed into Marlena's room as Sarah called for a defibrillator. "You can't be in here," Sarah insisted. "Don't tell me that, just tell me that she's gonna make it," John said in response. "I am doing everything I can," Sarah pledged. Allie joined Brady in one of the pews. "When I was little, everyone used to make fun of Great-Grandma Caroline because she was always making novenas, and she would say, 'You can laugh all you want, but I have enough faith for the whole family.'" Allie recalls. "She was always great at making Belle and me feel like we were a part of the family. You know, when I took my first driver's test, she gave me," Brady attempted to add before drawing a blank on the term required to complete the phrase. "A scapular," Allie suggested. "And she said, 'Brady, it's not magic, but it's just a way for you to tell God that you need a little help,'" Brady concluded. "I could use some of her faith right now, 'cause mine's a little shaky," she said. Rafe called Brady just then to seek for help in finding Kristen, and Allie took advantage of the moment to walk off in search of an update on Marlena's condition. Belle continued to share her regrets with Eric at the nurse's station. "If I had known that Mom could have relapsed, I would have insisted that Claire come home for the holidays," she said. "Hell, if we had known that she would have relapsed, we would have done all sorts of things differently," says Eric. "Claire missed Mom's last Christmas." Belle worried. "We don't know that, don't give up yet," Eric urged. "Has someone murdered Kristen yet? If not, I'll volunteer." Belle spit. Allie quickly approached and hugged Belle. "I'm so glad you made it," Allie exclaimed. "Sean instructed Victor to send the Titan jet. I'm sure he'll be irritated if I try to thank him for it, but it was quite lovely," Belle said. Will limped toward the nurse's station just then. "I ran into Sarah outside of Grandma's room, and she said that, while her condition is stable, the care that she's receiving at this point is palliative," Will told me. "Like hospice?" Belle translated. "Not yet, and they're monitoring her symptoms, but I think it's clear that Will attempted to respond." "She doesn't have much time left," Eric said with a sigh. Allie returned to the church to inform Brady, whose phone call with Rafe had just ended. "He sends his love," Brady concluded. "Best stepdad ever, but that can't be why he called," Allie said. Brady confirmed Allie's belief and said that Steve assisted Rafe in obtaining a warrant for Kristen's arrest. "I'm surprised he went to all that trouble and didn't just kill her on the spot with his bare hands," she said. "Chanel and I have been binging Law and Order, and, look, if Kristen didn't know that she was being recorded, there's a possibility she can." Allie sought to alert Brady, causing him to clarify that Johnny had helped Rafe get around the problem. Allie was impressed with Johnny for standing up to Kristen. "Now all we have to do is find the bitch," Brady said, and Allie agreed. Then they both made an apologetic gesture after recalling their location.